This NG Minute is brought to you by 1-800-FELLA. Help is just a bro kick away. Call today. Okay, people, this NG Minute usually is, well, when I actually do NG Minutes, I do an even amount of topics to talk about TNA as well as SmackDown. But I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot more things that interest me on SmackDown than it does in TNA. There's only two things that interest me in TNA. Number one, it was the match between Chris Sabin and Manic. I absolutely love that match. Seriously. Actually, no, I take that back. There are three matches that I was really interested in. I love the Chris Sabin versus Manic. I love that match. That match was really good. It was a pay-per-view worthy match in my humble opinion, and it was a champion versus champion match, which was pretty cool. That would be a great match if it was for the Bound for Glory series. But one match that really did impress me the most was AJ Styles versus Austin Aries. That was a good match. Good Bound for Glory match. The Bound for Glory series is definitely starting to become the pinnacle of what TNA Impact should be. Like it's definitely the Bound for Glory series season. So they should really have a lot more focus and a lot more emphasis in Bound for Glory. And I feel like they did when they had these matches. Austin Aries versus AJ Styles, that was an awesome match. Honestly, I can't wait to see Kaz and Daniels go at it. Seriously, I really can't wait to see that. And that's going to probably be for this Thursday. But another match that really did impress me was ODB versus Gail Kim. That's a whole new feud in the making. And honestly, that was a pretty good... I mean, the match was not as long, but I will say this. They were going at it, like just beat down to beat down. We all know the ODB... she can fight. Like, that chick can throw down. Seriously. I don't really care much for the middle-aged mafia and the H's and Eights. I don't care about them at all. Because now they gave Chris Sabin the title, there's absolutely no relevancy to their feuds anymore. That's how I see it. And I just got bored. So I really don't care at all. And now you don't really know which direction they're going to go, except for this whole, an offer you can't refuse. I'm like, what is this, The Godfather? I mean, and then the offer is not even a worthy offer. It's just saying that whoever loses leaves TNA. How many times have we seen that? Like, seriously. We've seen that tons of times on WWE. It is not the last. Like, seriously, it's nothing original. Well, TNA wasn't a really bad show. When it comes to wrestling, it was spot on. When it comes to storyline, it needs work. That's pretty much how it is with TNA. Okay, people, this is the time that I mean, I have never really been happy to talk about SmackDown in my life, but I'm going to say this. SmackDown is running leaps and bounds around Raw right now. Seriously, they have improved so great, so much as a show. Like, their quality has gone way up there and Raws have just sunk. But either or, I loved that show. I really did. I loved Friday Night SmackDown. The one thing that really was kind of interesting is how before I really did not want Vicky Guerrero to be the GM. I was tired of seeing her. I thought she was going to be her same mediocre self and let a few people go over because of how hot they are. But I love this new attitude. I love how Vicky Guerrero is now. Even though she's a heel GM, she's more professional than she's ever been. And she doesn't let anyone step on her, especially Alberto Del Rio. Now, when he actually came out for the opener, the one thing that amazes me was the fact that, I mean, he was definitely playing the whole, like the whole cowardly heel kind of thing, choosing opponents that were inferior to him. Even though I will say it would be interesting to see Rodriguez going against Alberto Del Rio, giving it his all, because Ricardo Rodriguez is a skilled luchador. Like, seriously, he can fight. And it's a shame he doesn't really have an opportunity to have matches on his own. So I would have been interested to actually see that happen. But as Vicky Guerrero said, having him choose his opponent, he has to outdo the John Cena versus Daniel Bryan match. And Daniel Bryan was a worthy opponent. I absolutely agree with how Vicky Guerrero did things. I really do, especially when it comes to the decision that she made, choosing three opponents for the number one contendership. I had a feeling that Randy Orton wasn't going to win, but I was really surprised when I saw who did win, and I'm going to talk about that later on down the line. AJ Lee versus Caitlyn has been the best thing since sliced bread. And I know I said that before, but it has been. But what happened even better for me is Layla's heel turn. Yes! But why now? Like, seriously, I was just really waiting on this to happen at SummerSlam. Like, seriously, it would have been more awesome if it happened at SummerSlam than it did on SmackDown. But it's still not horrible. It was still an awesome thing. I love seeing Layla as a heel. And I knew it was going to happen because let's face it. Do you really think that Layla wants to be second fiddle to Caitlyn? No. Or AJ? No. She's going to betray AJ sooner or later. And she's going to be a heel all her own. And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm really hoping that this will be on the card. Layla and AJ in a handicap match versus Caitlyn for the title. I would love to see that happen. Seriously, love to see that happen. But on the real, that really made my night just to seriously see all those, just to see Layla turn heel. Really made my night. And what was even cuter was the backstage segments. Like, the backstage segments between the three guys of how who was going to win. They cut each other off, especially when it came to letters. Like, RV, they went on from there. It was absolutely cute. I loved it. It was adorable. Well, I guess that's kind of a juvenile way to say it about three grown men. But regardless of that, I really did like that segment. I really did enjoy it a lot. The matches, CM Punk versus Fandango. Okay. Honestly, Fandango really did impress me in Money in the Bank, but for some reason, he just didn't impress me that night. Like, he didn't impress me at all. This was against CM Punk. You really kind of wanted to go further and just not take punches. I don't understand. It's like Fandango only brings out his A game during pay-per-views, and during the shows, he just totally sucks. Like, he has absolutely no in-ring chemistry with anyone. Honestly, he hasn't developed that skill yet. That is one thing that they really do need to work on with him. They need to start developing a skill to be able to be compatible with a lot of wrestlers in the ring. Because he wasn't totally sloppy, but he can actually improve and enhance his abilities if he worked on his chemistry, and it will be less injury. And also for Summer Rae is not really much of a heel valet. Like, seriously, I know she comes out and she's a dancer and all, but she only did that interference once, but she's really not much of a heel valet. I guess that's what you consider it, but I don't know. She's not a bad dancer, though. She's a lot better than Eva Marie. But honestly, I'm going to move on to the main event. The main event was RVD versus Randy Orton versus Christian. Now, I never really expected this to happen. It was a really great match to watch. I'm not going to deny that. It was a really great match to watch. But who would have ever thought that Christian would come out on top? I was really kind of looking forward to RVD winning, because why bring RVD back just for him to sit behind and watch all the other people move in front of him? I know everyone saying RVD shouldn't even be in the title picture. It's not about that. RVD is a really well-rounded veteran. And you bring him back for Money in the Bank to draw a crowd, but then you're putting him in random matches with random people, like a bunch of squash matches, and then you give him a title opportunity, but the thing is, he doesn't win. It was respectful of him to actually shake his hand and leave, but still, I really would rather have RVD win instead of Christian. Even though Christian is an all-around champion, he's a good guy, but now they mentioned the fact that he didn't really have a good face run with the World Heavyweight Championship, and hopefully he'll have an opportunity now, because Alberto Del Rio is just flat out boring. That's just how it is in my opinion. But honestly, guys, as a show as a whole, I really did enjoy SmackDown. I was really entertained with some of the segments. I really did like the matches. There's a lot to look forward to towards SummerSlam, which they're doing a good job of promoting. And honestly, I think this show really runs circles around Raw right now. But I'm curious to hear how you guys feel about SmackDown or about TNA Impact. Leave your comments in the comment section below or send me a video response. In my humble opinion, I know that TNA has a lot of rumors saying how it's in trouble, but that show really does have a few tricks up its sleeve, and I really do think that there's a little bit more hope there. I'm not going to deny it and push it all away. But honestly, guys, I want to hear what your thoughts are. This is Nate Girl 30 signing off. Peace out.